Hey y'all, what's up? This is Shannon Speaks. Don't mind how I look. You'll understand in the video next week why I look this way. But I want to share a little, quick song with y'all. So I'm doing some housework and stuff like that today well, not housework, but some renovation stuff that I had to do for a while that I've been putting off because I've been so busy. And I just kind of dedicated today to doing this. And so I'm sanding and painting, which again, you'll see in next week's video. And I went to go get something in my car and I've been like smelling something in my car and I'm like, something don't smell right. Something's wrong. Like you ever smell, you see your parents and like, what's that smell? When they start cleaning everything. I have one of those Caribbean moments. Maybe not only a Caribbean thing, but that's my exposure. So anyways, I digress. So I'm starting to clean and I'm cleaning. I'm like going through stuff. And I went to open my trunk to get that's what happened. I opened my trunk to get some paint stuff that was in my trunk. And I smelled that smell last night, but it was like night, it was like 11 o'clock. I was going home to sleep, so I was like, okay, whatever. But then like, I opened the trunk and I saw these fruit flies coming. I'm like, yo, that's the smell I was describing last night. That fruity smell, like, you know, like when bread is going bad. And so I start going through my trunk and there was like this bottle full of Mobby that never got transferred to where it was supposed to go, that ended up staying in my trunk for like super long. And what's messed up about it is that I seen it and I was like, yo, I need to take that out. Like I had to remember because I seen it when I wasn't home. But then when I got home, I probably forgot because I'm always really busy and always going in my brain like 1,000 miles per minute. And so I'm cleaning up my trunk. I threw it out, picked it up, threw it out. Then like everything in my trunk is wet. And if you've ever seen my trunk, or this might be a stereotype, but some people have, like, I was gonna say women, but it might be men too, have really horrible trunk. My trunk is horribly full of stuff. And so I'm throwing away all this stuff. Like I'm just going through next, like now I gotta go through everything, right? Cause like everything's wet with like this, like stale, rotten Mobby that's been in my trunk for way too long because it's been hot. You know what I'm saying? Like it was, anyways. So I had to take everything out and I had to put it on the side. I had to go through things. I had to put some stuff in the garbage. Some stuff like I have to wash off. Like some stuff that's been supposed to come in the house, I just brought inside. And like I had to take out the rug from the trunk and like clean it, like wash it off and clean it with soap and stuff like that and hose it down or whatever. Now I put it to dry. But the reason why I'm telling you guys about this because I thought it was so interesting. When it comes to our relationship with Christ, you got to be so intentional because things will kind of get stuck. Like we will kind of go through things or get a false doctrine or get deceived in an area and get some ideology or get a thought that is so like anti-Christ or anti-God's promise or anti what we're supposed to be doing or sinful or lustful or impure, just things that we shouldn't have in the trunk of our minds. And I literally mean trunk of our minds because it goes sometimes into our subconscious, sometimes into storage where we don't really like consciously attend to it, but doesn't mean that it's not there, like it's not impacting us. And it just sits there and it sits there for a long time. And sometimes it'll come up and you're like, oh yeah, what does that come from? Like that doesn't sound right. But we never take time to address where it came from, what its roots are. You know what I'm saying? Why it's there, what to do with it now. We never actually actively do something with it. And we leave it there. And we leave it there until it festers and busses. And then it starts leaking all over everything else that's in there. Messing everything else up, getting everything else wet, getting everything else sticky, getting everything else musty. And we only, unfortunately, tend to deal with it when we start to smell it. When it starts to come into our consciousness, when it starts to impact our day-to-day life, then it's something that we want to deal with. When we could have dealt with it when it was a root, we could have dealt with it when it was a seed, but we didn't want to deal with it. And now it's growing fruit. Now it's impacting other things in the garden of your mind. Now it's a problem. So don't neglect the time it takes. Now you got to stop, be intentional, take that thing out, uproot it. Why is it wrong? Why is it a lie? What is this? What is the myth truth? What does the truth look like? If I didn't know what my trunk was supposed to look like, I would not have known what to clean, how to take things out, what to do. So in the same way, when you have a thought pattern in your mind that's unhealthy or deceptive or impure or unhelpful or negative, you have to know what the truth version of that, or what that has come to bring deception in. What is the truth here, and how do I make this situation look and replicate that truth? Because this is not what it's supposed to be. And taking the time and intentionality to go through things. You have to now take the, like, I threw away the bag, right, with the bottle in it, and the liquid that was left in the bottle was quite disgusting. I threw that away. But if I don't address now the other things that it's impacted and infected, or in this case affected, then I'll still be smelling the smell. Also, another thing I noticed, the smell is just attracting bees. I got a bee stung like 2 weeks ago. Not legit, right? So sometimes even, like, if you don't deal with these things, it not only creates a mess over all of your stuff, but it also attracts things to your life that you don't actually want, okay? That you don't actually like, that you know what I mean? Things that can pose a threat to your well-being. So I just wanted to talk to you guys about that a little bit, because I thought it was so interesting how intentionality is super important. Not letting things slide, not letting things just stay. Like, when you hear something, address it. What is the truth for the situation? Because this is wrong. When there's a wrong theology, when there is a wrong ideology, when there's a wrong thought pattern, when there's a negative thought that's trying to be seeded in the ground of your mind, you have to be intentional in dealing with that stuff. And how are you intentional in dealing with that stuff? By looking in your trunk once in a while, being intentional in your relationship with God, making time to do things that need to be done, not just going through life on the hustle and bustle, because then that's how we end up with things that we don't even know sometimes how we end up in certain emotional situations. How did I even get here? How did I get here? Doesn't make sense. But it's because we don't take the time to take time. Taking time to take time. Super, super important. We're not taught that within this society. That's like anti-2020. Like, you know what I mean? Like, we need to go. Like, we need to, like, had it not been for COVID, some of you guys would not even have taken a rest this year. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, some of us, I should say rather, because I'm horrible at this, hence the mobby in my trunk. But yeah, man, like, you need to know the truth. You need to fill yourself with truth. When you fill yourself with truth, there's less room for lies. If I was responsible and intentional in making sure my trunk was clean, aka filling myself with truth, reading my word, not only reading my word, but, you know, I'm being diligent and intentional in taking care of my mental health, being intentional, in making sure that my relationships stay pure, to make sure that my relationships are well managed. And you might be like, that's a lot of work. Exactly. That's why you have to be intentional in taking the time to do these things. These things don't happen by accident. I was saying the other day, like, yo, we go to school for everything. We go to school to learn math and to read and to write, but no one takes the time to actually think, maybe I should learn how to communicate. Maybe I should learn how to do relationships. Maybe I should take the time. Take the time. Take the time. These things require intentionality. And if you don't deal with the things that slip and slide in there, if you don't take a peek into what's going on in your mind, take some emotional and mental inventory, how am I feeling today? If something comes up, you're like, when you get that smell and you don't go and figure out, what is that? Where did that come from? Why did I outburst like that? Why did I respond like that? Where did that language come from? I don't talk like that. Where did that thought come from? That's not usual. You don't take the time to analyze these things, they can make a really big and dirty and nasty mess in your life. And then you're gonna have to take even more time. I had to take the time to clean everything out. I had to take the time to take inventory. I had to go look at everything else in there. I had to see how it touched on everything else. Go and clean everything else now too. Because if not, everything would have still been sticky, would have had the smell. I would have still been living with the after effects of it if I didn't go after and clean through everything else. It's not just a one-stop shop, it's a process. That takes time and intentionality. But I'll tell you what, you might think that dealing with it before it becomes like that is a problem. But the time I could have taken to put that mobby in the fridge when I had gotten it for the person and forgot, was a lot less time than it took me to clean my entire trunk. Prevention is better than cure on any day. On any day. And that's on poo. Anyways, I hope that was helpful to you because it was a big ol' eye opener for me. I'm way too busy and I do not take nearly enough time to do the things that I need to do. Nearly enough time to do the things I need to do, take care of the things I need to take care of, and I end up with all these messes after that take a lot more energy to clean up. And I either end up discouraged or burnt out and missed out a lot of opportunities on the way, might I add. Take time for yourself, take time to pray, take time to read, take time to do inventory of your mind, body, and soul. It's not a game, it's not a joke, this is real life, this is adulting 101, okay? If you don't like it, you can't revert, so get with it. Okay, or else you'll always be laying victim to a cycle. I hope you enjoyed this video. Like, comment, subscribe, you know what it is. Share it. From my trunk to yours. Be well, in Jesus' name. Amen.